Hello again. I am now at 8634 Mayflower Court, also in University City. It's in a cul-de-sac. Over there is like some business buildings, so you can see over top of it, you're really close to some sort of resident, or not residential, but like commercial district for shopping. Really can't hear any road noise. Right through between those two houses, you can kind of see a Five Guys sign. So, again, you're pretty close. You just go down that road and around, and there's some business stuff, which, again, can't hear any road noise. You're in a cul-de-sac. I like already this street a lot better. Just seems like the houses are a little bit bigger, a little bit more. I don't know that I necessarily more spread apart maybe is correct, but I don't know, I just like the quietness of the cul-de-sac better. This is the house itself. 1-car garage, like the other one. The yard isn't quite as big. We can take a look, but it's big enough. Looks like you do have maybe a fence on that side. We'll take a look at that again. No fence on this side, but could easily be put up. There's a fence along the back. That may be the neighbor's fence. But you do have a door into the garage in this house, which is nice, nicer than the last one. Now this one isn't quite as updated. It is updated, but not quite as, I'll say modern. Not quite as a modern look. And it's not staged, so it's going to make it look a little different. I'll kind of point out things that I see. Older door, like that's really solid wood. They've got some new fixtures, new door handles and whatnot, but the door itself is older. Now these doors are newer. The interior doors are. And so looks like we've got newer windows, hardwood floors, so it's not plank like the last one. You've got a fireplace here, whether it's functional or not, I'm not sure. This living room seems like it's a bigger living space. So we walk around this side into a dining area. Kind of more delineated and right next to the kitchen. Updated fixtures. And that room over there, I'll go to in a minute. That's kind of like a mud room, and then a door to the garage, which is handy, and then the door to the basement is there. All of the floor, other than the hardwoods, in that room, kitchen, bathrooms, is all this kind of like, I don't know if it's a peel and stick. Yeah, it's kind of like a peel and stick. I'm not necessarily a fan of it, but you might be. That could be changed. So I wouldn't necessarily be too concerned about that, but that's not real tile. Looks like they probably got a discount on that. New cabinets though, so you've got a gas range here where you had smooth top electric at the last house, built-in microwave, you've got a dishwasher, kind of subway tile backsplash, 42-inch cabinetry, one big sink. Look, you've got, I'm pretty sure this is a quartz countertop, kind of like it could be a granite, but I think that's a quartz. It's dark, not bad. Big window wells here. Soft close. You do have a kind of a deal here that you could make this into a pantry. There's no shelving, whatnot, but you could do something in there, make that into a pantry. And then this little space over here would be where your fridge would go. Doesn't appear that there's any ice, like water line, but you could put a water line in for an ice maker. Decent sized kitchen. Space over here that you could put like a breakfast bar. Clearly they've got one in here that's kind of staging it. So yeah, they do have some, I guess I did say that there wasn't any staging, but yeah, there is some light staging. I shouldn't say that. There isn't any. They just didn't stage every room. Let's do a quick look into the backyard. So backyard, it kind of goes uphill a little bit there. It's not completely flat. So you do have some older chain link fencing there. Looks like it's pretty overgrown. Might have to trim that down. Got a patio here. Probably could use a little love. Maybe some power washing and some painting. But you'd have some decent privacy and a little yard for pets. Looks like they have a fence post there, so they probably used to have a different fence up. And there's like one little patch of green right there, so I don't know what's going on there, but looks like there is maybe a gate right there that went into the neighbors in the past. But all brick home here. You see over there. And this door is probably original, and it's solid wood. So there's a little bit of a closet here to put supplies, and then you've got a laundry chute in the bottom there, and you can kind of see down into the basement. So throw your clothes in there to go to the laundry. Again, hardwood floors, bedroom. This is probably the smallest of the bedrooms. Decent size though. Kind of a smaller. These doors look like they're probably original, but in good condition. Kind of just small, little bit of a pocket. Again, windows are pretty new, light fixtures new. You got kind of a really wide hallway here, which is kind of nice. I'll turn the light on. You got an attic fan up there. And then hall bathroom. Got like a little bump in for stuff there. Again, it's the same peel and stick flooring. Got a vanity with countertop, looks the same. More modern, mirror and fixtures. Looks like probably the shower tile was probably original because it's brown, kind of browns. And the floor is black, so it's probably just never changed it because I didn't think it was bad enough to change. This bedroom is probably the primary. It's the biggest, and it also has a little half bath over here. So I'll show you that one. Window, again, it's kind of like a little smaller window, so not the big windows like the last house, but good size. So like you can tell you've got like a little bench here, some end tables, the bed. You'd have a space over here if you wanted, a dresser here. You could put a dresser over here. Closet. Looks like there's no rails to put, hang up clothes. You'd have to add that. But could. Wouldn't take too much. And so the one thing I wanted to point out, okay, so this little it's not even a half bath, it's like a 3/4 bath. It does have a pocket door. It is small though, so I wanted to point that out. Looks like the shower definitely needs a good cleaning, but you can kind of hear the reverberations, and you got kind of some old school fixtures here, so just like the hot and cold are just like definitely old school. And then you've got kind of the shower head is coming out of the side rather than like the front, so that's a little bit different. Kind of weird. I could use a good cleaning in here, and just the reverberations of my voice just being inside this little tiled area. Really small, like IKEA sink here. The thing I don't necessarily love about this is the placement of this toilet is super close to this wall right here. So it looks like they even took the shower bar out, because if you're going to come in here to go to the bathroom, like you wouldn't even, this is like right there. You're almost practically bumping your head into here to sit down to use the toilet. So, like I said, it's super narrow in here. Point that out. I mean, it's not like necessarily a deal killer, but I mean, look how close that is. Okay. And then here's the third bedroom, and this one's a good size too, so all of them are good size. Again, all new windows. Closet, decent closet. Not big, but decent size. But I like the wide hallway. And then in the mudroom, I mean, you could do anything out here. You could store stuff, you know, you could use it as a living space. Here's the garage. Get a little attic access there. It's kind of similar to the last one. Got a cinder block walls, new window there, garage door. Floor looks pretty good. Like, you know, I don't see any cracks in it. Looks like they've have a little bit of trash still out here. Not too bad. That door must be on a hinge or something that closes, because you have to kind of hold it open. And then here's the door to the basement. Carpet on the stairs, carpet downstairs on the floor. And this space seems like a lot bigger now. It does have a little bedroom space back here, and there is a half bath down here. They've got the ceiling all painted black, got some lighting. This room has a sump pump hidden over in the corner. You could use this as an office. Now the windows down here haven't been replaced, so that's an original aluminum window. No closet in this room, so could be storage, could be bedroom if you wanted to. In here is unfinished part where you've got your furnace, water heater, water shut off over there, standpipe, here be your washer, dryer, 220 for dryer. There's a vent there for the dryer. So again, storage over here. Looks like the drywall's newer. Ceiling is taller here. I can't reach the ceiling with my hand, so at least it's tall enough. Taller anyway. I won't say tall, but taller than the last house. There's your electric panel. Doesn't look new, but let's see, what does it say? Oh, actually it does say panel approved 2025, so doesn't look new by any means, but maybe it's been, oh, it says additional circuits, breaker recount. So looks like somebody, at least electricians, looked at it. So I think the living space is bigger. Not as many like doors. Again, not as modern as the last one. I already kind of came down here and turned some lights on. So you got a little half bath in here. No shower down here, but again, the windows, you know, are older. Could be replaced. Wouldn't be that concerned about that. Again, that's same flooring, so they got that on got a coupon for that. At least newer vanity, newer toilet in here. And then cedar closet-ish, some sort of something. It's got like a wooden floor. I don't know if that's cedar or, I know the wall is cedar, but I don't know. But I wanted to at least show that to you. You just use it as storage. Kind of different that they kind of set that up over there as a bedroom, but then the bathroom is way over here. I guess it's just the way that they, the layout was already there, so they just kind of went with it. But a lot of space. Like, you can set up a living space here. You can set up one way over there, over in there in that corner. Just a ton of area. Just kind of a matter whether you like more of the modern look, which is already done, but pros and cons for both. The garage you can't get into on the other one from inside the house. This one you can. The other one has a bit of a bigger yard, already fenced. This one's, okay yard, not completely fenced, but somewhat fenced. Layout definitely different in, each of them are different. Decor, when I say decor, like the flooring, definitely. But again, flooring can be changed. It's not as if you have to live with, and maybe you love it. Maybe you love it. But it always just can be changed. And the hardwood floors are timeless. But, pros and cons. Okay, I will send this video over to you if you have any questions. Oh, and just, you probably already have seen it, but it was only after I finished doing the video on Plymouth that the agent sent me a message saying that the garage could be viewed, so I was able to get in that and send you a separate video. So I'm sure you already saw that by now, but just wanted to point that out. Okay, well, I'm gonna get this one locked up, send you this video, and let me know what you think. Just looking at the brands of these. So that says Element brand. It seems like these appliances are not quite, like big name brand appliances. So like Element, which I think is probably the cheapest you can get. All right, I'll send you this one over shortly. Thank you.